G'day everybody, it's Danny here with some pure green tea in a really cool, strange X-Men themed mug. In this video, we're going to be looking at 5 board game helper websites and apps that might enhance your next board gaming experience. Now, I've dug far and wide and I've looked high and low. I think some of these might pique your interest. Let's get started. Hey Danny, I think I found a website that features all of your favorite board games. Oh, cool. Can I have a look? Hang on a minute. This is BoardGameGeek.com. Before I dive into my 5 board game helper websites and apps, I just want to preface this video by saying that none of the content in this video has been sponsored. All of these apps and websites I've researched myself or used them myself, and I'm purely just sharing my experiences with these apps and websites with you through this video to help you enrich your experience. Sometimes when I have friends and family over for a board game night, some of the board games that we pick often lend themselves to a particular theme, a particular setting, a particular type of atmosphere that you want to create whilst you're playing the game. Games like Horrified or Betrayal at House on the Hill or Dead of Winter often have like a spooky and creepy vibe to them. Sometimes I'll dim the lights or turn the colors of the lights to a particular color mode, and then I'll turn on some background music. But finding the right background music can be a little bit tricky. But guess what? There is a website strictly for board gamers out there which have curated beautiful musical playlists just for that perfect board game that you choose. It is called Melodies, and Melodies basically allows you to type in the board game that you're playing into a search engine and it will come up with a complete playlist or a list of selected songs that you can play in the background while you're playing a particular game. It might be some ancient theme music if you're playing like an ancient civilization game like Tekkenu or Teotihuacan. Or it could be some scary music if you're playing, games with more of a horrified theme. If you're playing games like Dune Imperium that kind of have a more sci-fi element to them, those playlists are curated by people who've used and listened to that music before, and through the Melodies website you can kind of say, yes, I think this piece worked perfectly with the game that we're playing, or you can say, this piece doesn't quite match. You know what, you can literally type in any board game into the search engine and you're bound to come up with 2 or 3 songs that will be able to create that beautiful ambience that you really want from a board game that you're playing right now. And what sort of soundtracks do they have for Cockroach Poker? You don't want to know. More often than not in this hobby, people are looking for new board games. Games that evoke the same feelings as some of your classic games that you have in your collection, or your go-to games that you play with your friends and family all the time, that fires on all 4 cylinders and gives you that satisfying feeling each time you play. I know I'm always on the lookout for new games, but sometimes finding that pathway to that new game can be quite difficult, because when you're looking for games, you have particular preferences, interests, play styles, group sizes, and even particular mechanics that you quite favor over others. There's one website out there that aggregates all of that information together, and basically it's a website called Try These Games. And basically all you do on this website is you type in a board game that you have in your collection that you really like, and this website will create a list of suggested games that you should be playing next. You can even filter that list down by eliminating or matching particular board game designers, even mechanics, or even down to the number of plays that you want to play your next game with. And I think there's a beautiful thing when a website can really be tailored to your interests. The idea that, if I enjoy Tawan Tinsuyu, there are other games that might evoke that same feeling that I might not have really realized yet. And this website narrows that list down for you and presents it in such an easy to read way. And Try These Games even has some really cool real-time features that helps you to narrow down your selection even more. It gives you a little graph that even tracks the average rating trend over time, and you can see the rise and fall in popularity of some of the games that are linked to a game that you've put into the search engine. It even has an average user score, average game score, a measure of the surety of the accuracy of the score based on the game you've inputted. The fact that you can even filter those results and narrow down that small selection means that finding that next game that's going to give you the same experience, if not more, and a more enjoyable experience, means that it's not very far away. So the next app I want to introduce does come with a small cost, and that's just simply to purchase it. And I think there are a few in-app purchases once you get it, but this app is absolutely detailed, full to the brim of features, and in fact it probably rivals maybe Board Game Geek in some ways in terms of personalizing and tracking your own board game experience. This app definitely is for someone who has a big collection of games, wants to track who wins, who loses, maybe how many times they play with their partner or with a big group of friends. But the Board Game Stats app is definitely a big app that maybe you might want to get on your phone. What's really good about it is that it provides a very, very detailed way to track how many games you've played across a month, how many wins you've had, how many losses, how many draws, who you've been playing with, the days of the week you've been playing, the times you've been playing, how many hours you've been playing, and it all channels it into beautiful graphs. Not only do the graphs get recorded and track your board game experiences across months, years, it actually even imports data that links to your Board Game Geek profile into the app itself. The fact that it takes those and conglomerates them together means that you've got all of the information right at your fingertips. The other thing that I really like about the Board Game Stats app is that there are challenges. There's the 10 by 10 challenge. There's actually quite a few different challenges on the website that you can pick from. There's like an alphabet challenge where you play a board game that matches with each letter of the alphabet and try and complete different objectives and goals. And I love that. That's an incentive to play those games straight off your shelf. Get those games that haven't been played as often, played more often, and see whether they're worthy of being games that should stay in your collection. Have you ever bought a board game off an online store only to realize a couple of days later that another website is selling the same game for 20% off? That's happened to me multiple times. In fact, sometimes I'm browsing multiple board game websites at the same time to see which of those websites has the cheapest price. And sometimes it involves opening about 50 tabs. But there are some websites out there that can help aggregate that information for you on one page. So you can compare all of the prices in one spot. There's Board Game Atlas, but the one I like to go to is Board Game Oracle. You basically choose the country that you're in, you type in the name of the board game you're looking for. So if I'm in Australia and I'm looking for the game Everdell, it will come up with a complete list of all the Australian websites that are selling the board game Everdell. It'll even list the price, a link to those particular pages, and it will even tell you whether that website has it on pre-order, whether it's currently in stock, or whether it's currently out of stock. So not only does that help you to avoid opening 50 browsers, it actually helps you to see all the information and the availability of the game currently in stock, in physical condition, on one page. One website might be selling it for more, but they might have a lower postage cost. Another website might be selling the game more cheaply, but has a higher postage cost. Having those postage costs is really important there because that might influence whether you go for one particular website or another. The next board game app that I think you should check out is centered around a beautiful concept, and that's simply making that transition into learning a brand new board game a whole lot more easier and a whole lot more immersive and interesting as well. This is an app that has music, narration, subtitles, digital versions of the components that all animate, that literally shows you how to set up the game step by step and then takes you through the first turns of a game that you've just bought, all without having to lift or open the page of the rulebook. The app that I'm talking about is called the Dized app, and whilst the app itself has about 100 games that's digitalized, this app is amazing. It is got not only an index of all of the rules digitally with picture references, but also it's got animation that really immerses you in the world of the game that you're about to open. So I'm just going to show you how it works on my phone. They've even got some new games, including Expeditions, Bonsai, and even Dorf Romantic. You've got tutorials for a lot of popular games. These are all sorted by alphabetical order. So once you've chosen your game, you've got two options on the free mode. You can either just see the rules, which is so good. The rules is so well laid out. It's actually really interactive. You can just look at how to get started if you just want to know the setup, summarize the setup, all full with images of the game components and the game itself. And then you can even look at all the different types of construction cards and get further clarification about the construction cards themselves. And it even gives you all the images from the game. How cool. And the fact that it gives you all these image references means that it is so awesome. All right. That, if you were impressed by that, just wait till you see the tutorial. So if you open the tutorial, how cool is this? Can you believe that you can get this access for free? It even narrates just the beginning of the story just to give you a bit more thematic context. And then you can obviously skip, replay. So even if people are not familiar with Everdell, this sets the tone for playing the game. And then once you get into it, it literally has digital animations of the actual setup of the game itself and how you're actually going to play. It even tells you how many players you're going to put. So maybe if I'm playing a 3-player game, here are the pieces that you need. How awesome is this? And I love how it's got captions as well, which allows, the fact that if you don't want to have the sound on, you can turn it off. The fact that it really just tells you everything you need to know to play, to get started, and to just get into the game. The fact that I can go, well, there's that instruction, and I can decide when to go next, is a brilliant feature. It's a little bit different than watching, say, like a how to play video, because this is literally checking in with you every step of the way to make sure that you are doing the right things. It will say what you can do, how you can do them, and what your goals are. And even tells you a little bit more about the anatomy of the cards. They've got probably about 50 games already on there. Final app that I wanted to show you was one that really definitely impressed me a lot. And I know this app is completely free, but it is very niche because it's only used for one particular game. But that game is a very popular gateway game that so many people have played. And I'm pretty sure you've got this game in your collection. This is one of my favorite gateway Euro games. It features a range of colorful trains. We've got to gather colorful tickets and connect routes together. The game I'm talking about is Ticket to Ride, and the version that I have is Ticket to Ride Europe. Now, usually at the end of a game of Ticket to Ride, you're sitting there calculating points, doing a lot of maths, trying to work out who the winner of the game is. But there is an app out there called Pointsman, which is an app that allows you to take a video of your finished game board, and then it calculates the points for you in about 3 seconds based on what the camera picks up. It even picks up these colored stations in the Europe version of the game and calculates the score difference based on how many stations you've placed out. It even allows you to put in all the destination tickets at the end of the game, and it even tells you who the winner is very, very quickly. It alleviates all of that end game accounting and upkeeping. Now, I'm about to demonstrate this app to you, so get ready to hold on to your socks before they fly completely off. So here is a completed game of Ticket to Ride. So what I'm going to do is go to this free Pointsman app that you can download from the App Store, click on this little camera. So I'm just going to flip it this way so everything's pointed the right way. It says stand directly in front of the game board and hold at a 45-degree angle. It says ensure all 4 corners are on screen, which now it is. Then hold a little higher. A little clock will appear, and there are the final points, and even tells you who the winner is. The app even allows you to scan all the destination tickets from the game, like so. It factors it into the score. The beauty of the app is that you don't even have to specify which player scored which destination ticket. It literally takes the picture of the destination ticket, matches it to the scan of the final completed board state, and then it already recognizes which player has completed it and gives that player those points. How amazing is that? The fact that it already knows which player completed which route based on what you photograph just really absolutely boggles the brain. So what did you think of those 5 board game helper apps and websites? Are there any that you would consider using at your next board game night? Or maybe it's something that you didn't even realize existed. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you know any other cool websites or board game helper apps that are out there that I'm not even aware of? I'd love to hear them and start a conversation with you. Now, if you found this video super helpful, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. If you want to see some more cool board game content, or if you're simply just looking for more board game suggestions, please head over to my main YouTube page. There's definitely a video for everyone. Otherwise, this is Danny signing out. Cheers to a cool video, and I look forward to having another chat with you soon.